Hello and welcome to the United Stand. How are we all doing this Friday evening? Maurizio Pochettino is apparently interested in the Manchester United job. Some big news in relation to a Manchester United Brazilian star, and it is going to be Friday night. A bit of Q&A as well, because it's been a tough week. It's been a tough week this week. We've had all the Pogba stuff. We've just had Mourinho's press conference video, which is the eye in the top right-hand corner. If you didn't see what happened there, do give it a listen. We've got the game on Sunday. So tonight, it's a chance really on the United Stand to just kick back, have a few of your questions, talk about a few things that really don't take a hell of a lot of stress and brain power. And I think we've deserved it. It's been a very weird week for Manchester United. I thought Mourinho's press conference was very good. Maybe you want to talk about that a little bit later. But first of all, let's start off with Maurizio Pochettino wanting Manchester United job. This is a little bit of a gift to you lot, really, because I'm firmly behind Mourinho and I firmly back Mourinho, and everyone knows that, and I know it irritates people, but it takes all sorts and it's all about opinion. So tonight is a little bit of not backing Mourinho. It's a little bit of content for those people who would like Mourinho to go. I don't agree with that, but this is the United Stand, it's the fan channel, and it's for everybody. So where does this come from? This has come from Jermaine Genius. I think describing Jermaine Genius as an ex-Spurs star is a very loose term, that. I mean, Jermaine Genius has done a very good job of getting himself into the media, but as a footballer, I think he was bang average. And I say that with total and utter confidence because I remember him. But he's basically said that, well, Pochettino won't go to Barcelona. He said he won't go to Barcelona because of his Espanyol connections, and Real Madrid or Manchester United pretty much seem to be the job that he would go for. Because if you look in England, yes, Chelsea get rid of their manager every now and again, but would you go from Spurs to Chelsea? No. Are you going to go to Spurs to Arsenal? No. Are you going to go to City when they've got Pep? Probably not. And any time soon. And Liverpool have got Klopp. So anytime soon, probably not going to happen. So Pochettino to Manchester United. And you know what? When we talk about this is not something that's happening now. I always feel a little bit uncomfortable because there is a bit of disrespect towards Jose, who I back. But I think we're hypothetically talking next summer, aren't we? Because I don't see Pochettino leaving Spurs anytime before then. And I think Mourinho will be here till next summer. As I've said, though, I think Mourinho will go no matter what next summer. I think the writing is certainly on the wall in relation to that. So let's see what happens with that. But Pochettino to Manchester United, Zidane to Manchester United. What are your thoughts on that? I want to get your. It's a starter for 10. And then you can pick it up later on in the show with your Q&A. But I want to know what your thoughts are on that. My brief thoughts on it are that I'm not really thinking of a replacement for Mourinho at the moment, so it's very, very difficult. But I refuse to sit on the fence. I'm not getting splinters in my arse. So I would say that Pochettino to Manchester United or Zidane to Manchester United. Well, Zidane's got something Pochettino hasn't, and that is he can win trophies. But Pochettino has got Premier League experience. He did, the groundwork at Southampton and did very well. Then he came to Spurs and he's done very, very well there. I mean, apparently he's not very happy at Spurs. No money to spend because it's all about the new stadium, although they have retained a lot of their players. I think in many ways at Spurs he may have sort of reached his sort of ceiling, I suppose. So Pochettino or Zidane to Manchester United. I think at this moment in time, it's very difficult for me because I find it very difficult. But if you pushed me, I'd probably say Zidane. Bigger name, bigger status. You'd expect him to come in and do well with some of the stars that we've got. So I'd still go Zidane. But Pochettino, the big thing about Pochettino is if he was still going up against Pep, would you fancy him to beat Pep? I think Pep sort of schools Pochettino, doesn't he? So, a winner would be nice. I think I'd fancy Zidane going up against Pep more than I would Pochettino. But that's my thoughts. That is my point. Pereira. Let's talk about Andreas Pereira. Let's get the flicks going. I don't know why. Andreas Pereira has been called up to the Brazilian squad. There was some talk that Andreas Pereira would go to he would choose between Belgium. He himself has said that, I sometimes get described as the Belgium with Brazilian descendants. Well, I'm actually the other way around. I want to play for Brazil. He's been called up for by Brazil. And I think that's fantastic. I mean, what a season Andreas Pereira is having. I mean, anyone who watches the United Stand for any length of time will know that I've been on about Pereira for a very, very long time. And I'm a big fan of Andreas Pereira. But I didn't expect him to get called up by Brazil. And I didn't expect him to have realistic chances of getting in a Brazil squad. Very, very, very encouraged and excited for Pereira about that. Despite the yawn. No, I am. I'm very excited. And I just hope that He will play hopefully against Brighton on Sunday. I hope that he can get plenty of game time under Jose Mourinho because it's amazing, really. I think that Pereira, in some sense, is still in some Manchester United fans' mind, and maybe even Mourinho's mind, will he even get on the bench at United? When you think about when Matic is back, Fellaini's obviously back, Herrera, how does Pereira even get on the bench? But many of us feel that, well, forget the bench, he should be in the starting 11. So it's going to be interesting to see how Jose Mourinho deals with that. But in some ways, I think it's a really good thing that he's been called up for Brazil, because if he goes and gets called up for Brazil and does well, and then he comes back to Manchester United and he's not even making the bench, it makes a mockery out of Jose Mourinho again. So I'm really hopeful that Pereira this season is going to be a big part of the Manchester United first team. And this can only be a feather in his cap for that. Fantastic. And of course, the bromance between Fred and Pereira just developed. So very, very, very happy about it. Very, very happy about it. JLR87 says Pereira is the next Casemiro. I think Pereira is the next Pereira. I think he can be anything he wants to be. And I've rated him for a long time. I've said, I got mocked. I mean, where are the mockers now? Where are you? What was it Hulk Hogan used to do? But no, in seriousness, I got mocked about 18 months ago because we were being linked to James Rodriguez, who I absolutely love, wonderful left foot. And I actually said at the time, you know what? If it's a choice between James Rodriguez and Andreas Pereira getting game time, I'm going to go for Pereira. And I got absolutely, when people cut your tweet and they send it out and they get thousands of retweets, it was one of those. And everyone's like, oh, Goldbridge would prefer Pereira over Rodriguez. And, obviously Rodriguez is a better player than Pereira, but to me, there is a big attachment to players that come through the youth setup that you can develop and make into your own great player instead of signing somebody else. And, it's funny, 18 months later, I'd still say that Rodriguez is ahead of Pereira, but that sort of statement is coming to fruition. So I'm proud of that. And there are a lot of people who think like that about Pereira. So I'm very, very pleased for him, very proud of him. And hopefully I'm really hopeful that this season can be a big season for him. I really hope that he does get the opportunities that he does deserve, because I think he's fantastic. If you look at the game against Leicester, he had the most interceptions, most passes, really, really, really good, mature performance, taking the ball off the back four. Carrick is his sort of mentor. I think he can be a fantastic player. I really, really do. Fred went to the World Cup and didn't play, says Daniel. Yeah, he did, Daniel. You're right. But the reality is, Pereira in a Brazil squad's really, really exciting. It's come from nowhere as well. Let's keep the positivity going, Eric Ross. Yes, and we'll be taking your questions on the Pochettino Zidane thing. It's what we started off with. It's in the news. Friday night's just going to be a kickback night tonight. I think we've had a stressful week as it is. Paul, Zidane knows how to win things and play good football at the same time, says Dean Cassidy. I'm very impressed with Zidane. Zidane or Nagelsmann and next manager, says Devansh. And Pereira benched for Matic soon, says Breach69. I mean, this is the concern. I don't want to bring the party down because it's Friday, but this is the concern. Shaw's playing at the moment. How long before he gets dropped for Young? Pereira's playing at the moment. How long before he gets dropped for Matic? Fred is playing at the moment. How long is he before Fellaini starts playing games again? Lindelof's playing at the moment. How long before Jones comes in? They're four pretty, well, apart from Matic. I don't mind Matic, but the other three are pretty negative changes that, Jose, is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? And he'll lose fans if he does that, and I hope he doesn't do it. But for the moment, we can dream. Zidane all the way for me, says Jason Cataro. And Zidane or Poch would be better, says Andy McGow. Yeah, which one? Let's get confidence in this United team. Go for the title, says Gary Reid. You've got to dream big, Gary. You've got to dream big. I agree with you. Zidane will attract the top players to the club, says Zach Coley. But this is what I would say, Zach, and this is what I would say to everybody at home. I'm sure Zach's at home, maybe. What about this situation? Jose Mourinho, appointed as Manchester United manager, is a checkbook manager. Has he really been backed? He's had, oh God, what a week. He's had, and it's Jose's fault, a lot of it. Jose and Pogba, they've tired me out this week. But Jose Mourinho is a checkbook manager, and he's not had enough money. He's not. I don't care what anybody says. He's not had enough money, and he's certainly not had enough money this summer. So that's on the board. Appointing a checkbook manager and not giving them money is stupid, isn't it? It really is. It's like signing up Lewis Hamilton, isn't it? And getting him to drive around in a go-kart. If you don't give him the Formula 1 car, he ain't going to win the Formula 1, is he? So I think that Mourinho hasn't really been given the tools that Mourinho needs to be successful. So if you had a choice between Zidane and Pochettino, depending on what sort of board mentality we had, maybe Pochettino would suit Manchester United better, because at Spurs he's never really had loads of money to spend and he's good at developing the youth. That is more in hand with, I think, what Woodward and Glazers want. Whereas Zidane, I think Zidane would get a lot out of the players that we've got at the moment, especially people like Fred, Pogba, Pereira, Martial, Rashford, flair players. I think he'd get a lot out of those. But I think he'd also want to spend some money as well. So maybe Pochettino suits us from that point of view. I certainly don't want to see, if and when Mourinho goes, I don't want to see us going to get another checkbook manager, because I think that flies in the face of what our board is all about, if I'm totally honest with you. Please do smash the like button. It's going to be Q&A from now on in. But also just want to bring in Ryan Giggs. We've had Scholes talking a lot recently. I mean, Scholes today, I heard Scholes on BBC Radio 5 Live talking to Robbie Savage, and he said about the Pogba situation, I don't know what's going on, but Pogba needs to step up. At the moment, he's giving you 1 game in 3. And that, you know what, I thought, what a refreshing view that is from Paul Scholes. I mean, sometimes he gets accused of being negative, but he speaks a lot of sense, Scholesy, and he's right. You know, for all the love we've got for Pogba, and, you know, we're a bit dubious about Jose, about this whole thing, the reality is, I've always said about Pogba, this season for Pogba is the same as the season for Mourinho. It is a defining season. He's got to produce week in, week out, just like Jose has. And Scholes is right. Pogba last season, it was 1 good game in 3. We need 3 games in 3. So good points there from Scholes. Obviously, Gary Neville's had his say. We've spoken about that this week. Oh, it's been a rough week, hasn't it? It's been a rough week, so I want to stay positive. But Giggsy's been positive. Giggs has come out and basically said that... What's Giggs said? Yeah, Giggs has come out and said that he's really pleased for Luke Shaw. Obviously, Giggs was here when Shaw came to the club. He knows a lot about him. He said, I'm really pleased for Luke Shaw. Hopefully he can pin down that left-back position now. And also said about Pogba that, you know, I think that captaincy fits him well, and it'll take him to that next level, which obviously, I don't want to spoil it for you, click the eye in the top right-hand corner. If you haven't seen Jose Mourinho's press conference, we've got all the reaction to that. Did it this afternoon. Really good video. But, you know, Mourinho has said that when Valencia's back, he's back to being captain. So I would give it to Pogba. Maybe Mourinho can't give it to Pogba because their relationship isn't good enough. And I'm not going down that route again of saying that they've got a bad relationship. I think they've got a professional relationship now. I don't think they get on, but, you know, I've had managers and I've managed people who don't like me, and I've been managed by people I don't like. But in a professional sense, you can still go into meetings and you can still function. And I think that Manchester United, maybe with Mourinho and Pogba, that's what's going to happen now. But maybe it's a step too far for Mourinho to have Pogba as his vocal piece on the pitch when they don't get on that well. So maybe that does make a lot of sense, actually. You know, I'd not thought about that before. The wonders of live TV. Ooh. Anyway, link in the video description for Superbru. I'm just going to very, very quickly do this now because lots of people have been saying to me, why have you not done the Superbru this week? So we're going to do it. We're going to do it. There it is. It's up on the screen. It's free to play. Link in the video description. You have missed week 1, but it doesn't matter because you can still do it. The way it works is you just literally go through the link in the video description, sign yourself up. It's free, and you will go into the United Stand Predictor League for the season. We're going to touch on it every single week. All you got to do is you just predict your scores. So I haven't done mine yet. Cardiff against Newcastle. Bloody hell. That's a tough one. I'm going to go 1-1. So if the game finishes with a draw tomorrow, and it's 1-1, I would get, I think I get 3 points for an exact score. If it's 2-2, which is close, I get 1.5 points because it's a draw and I'm close. If it's 4-4, I'm not close, so you just get 1 point. And obviously, if it's a win for either team, I get no points. And that's how you score your points. If you get an exact score, you get 3 points. If you get close, you get 1.5 points. If you just get the right result, i.e. a draw, it's 1 point. So that's how it works. But I can also do the bit I didn't really want to do, which was look at the leaderboard, because I've not had a great start. I'll be totally honest with you. I won't even be on the page. I'm in 1,500 position out of 2,600. But at the top of the league at the moment, there's Dasher. Look at that. What a score. What a score he had. He got 15 points in exact, 6 close. He's got 23 points to start off with. So well done to Dasher. Smitty, C. Holland, Philly Guinness, Rash, Andas, and the Brady G, and Mushy. Oh my God, there's loads of them got 21. Timmy Mario, Giorgio Boy, 14, Owali, Existence is Pain, Boccamani United, 87. Well done. I'm coming for you. But look, 20 points, you can make that up over a season quite easily. So if you've not signed up for it yet, link is in the video description for that. Very easy to play. All you got to do is click the link in the video description and get your scores in each week and compete in the United Stand Predictor League. So there we go. And we will go back to it every week. Pochettino is the best manager for us, says George Kyle, but he's got loads of fishing rods there. So maybe he is fishing a little bit. Pochettino over Zidane, says Jack Coleman. I was a little bit late tonight. I must just say I was a little bit late tonight. Somebody might be able to help me out in the live comments, because on my channel, which is Goldbridge Livestream, if you haven't subscribed to it or watched it yet, you're missing out. I've put a few videos out this week. Today's mean tweets has ruffled a few feathers. Apparently I'm ruffled by football Twitter. Definitely not. But I enjoy the banter with them when it's good banter. If you check my timeline on Twitter, somebody's actually pulled off my commentary and attached it to when Ramos get injured. That's proper banter. That's good banter, that is. But some of the other stuff is a bit vile, isn't it? But yes, mean tweets is quite funny. Make sure you watch that on Goldbridge Livestream. But I'm also doing a FIFA Predicts tonight. I had it all set up to go live straight after this show. And then I went on it. No Fred, no Pereira. Well, they normally download the squad. So what's going on? What's gone on there? So I've now got to go back onto FIFA in a little bit, and I've got to get all the right players in. So it's going to be about 9:30 when I do that tonight. So get involved with that. Deemer says Mark Latebridge. Well, that's why I was a little bit late tonight. Okay, chuck me some good questions. It's now going to be your show for the next few minutes. Last season finished third, says Kilvase Dell in Superbru. Well done. George Kyle says, I watched the Twitter mean tweets video. It was brilliant. Thanks, George. If only Jose could develop youth and play entertaining football, he'd be the perfect fit for Manchester United, says Eric Ross. Well, watch this space. Watch this space, Eric. We're all being positive at the moment. Here's a good question, though, from Asmen Rahman to the Zidane lovers. He says, don't you think Zidane's success is down to the team he managed rather than his own managerial attributes? I'll answer that myself as well. You know what? I didn't know Zidane was going to leave Real Madrid this summer. When I was doing That's Football a lot last summer and doing watch-alongs for Real Madrid, I did say this a lot about Real Madrid. What impresses me about what Zidane did at Madrid is that he didn't go down the Galactico route. He was very much about developing what he had, but more, well, not development, not really, but he built a team instead of the individuals, which is something Real Madrid have very, very rarely done over the last 20 years. So that midfield's perfect, but I've seen Madrid in games where in the first half they've not been that good, but then in the second half they become good. And to me, that is a testament of what a good manager's all about. Zidane was very good at reacting tactically, seeing out games, finishing off games, turning games around. Yes, obviously having someone like Cristiano Ronaldo in your team helps. And, you know, Varane and Ramos, for me, are the best centre-back pairing in the world. And Marcelo is the best left-back in the world. And that midfield was quite fancy as well. But I still think Zidane would be a very, very good coach. And actually, look at United. De Gea is the best goalkeeper in the world. Pogba can be one of the best midfielders in the world. Martial could be one of the best wide players in the world if we actually used him properly. Lukaku is one of the best number 9s in the world. Bailly can be one of the best centre-backs in the world. So we're not far off. I don't think we're far off. So I think Zidane is better than that. Russell Neonin says, don't you think Pochettino would need to win something first? Currently, he doesn't even have a plate. We are Manchester United, not a charity club. That would always be the big concern about Pochettino. And anyway, I mean, this is your show tonight, Pochettino or Zidane. Would Pochettino come to United after Mourinho? You know me, I back Jose. I don't want him to go anywhere. But I have spoken about this before, and I think Laurent Blanc would be my choice. You know, I don't necessarily feel the need to go Galactico in relation to a big name. I think Laurent Blanc would be quite good. Leo says that the media are putting pressure onto Mourinho. He's well used to it. And I think Mourinho's safe at the moment anyway. I'll come back to that. Christian Carpenter says, if Jose doesn't win the title and doesn't leave after this season, would you still back him? Oh, it's too many if, buts and maybes there, Christian. I mean, if Manchester United don't win the title this year and we finish third and we play the same as we did last season, then Mourinho's got to go for me. If Manchester United finish second, play really good football and just miss out on the title, and he develops Pereira over the season and the football's good, then Mourinho probably stays for me. So too many if buts and maybes, like I say. But I do, hand on heart, I do think that maybe Mourinho's going to go next summer anyway. And I have to be fair to a lot of people. It's a big jump to go from where he was last year to great football and the team we want to see playing. I think we'll see half and half. But I'm very confident that we'll get top 4 anyway. I don't think we would need a big name manager. Barcelona got Valverde and won the league by a landslide, says Daniel Amada. Yep. And whatever happens this season, hopefully Jose is going to go down this route, but I don't think we'll have a manager next time who plays such negative football. If Zidane did join, what type of players do you think he'd try to sign, says Asman? Very difficult to say. You'd still back him whatever happens, says Breach69. No, that's very unfair to say that, Breach. Look, again, if anyone's watched the United stand for a long time, I went Van Gaal out quite soon. I gave him 18 months, and then that Christmas before he went, I was Van Gaal out. And, that was a very toxic time to be doing a fan channel, because you do get your people who are just going to back the manager no matter what. And it was difficult. I always said with Mourinho when we got him, I can't see myself ever being Mourinho out. Ask me that question now, I can see myself being Mourinho out. I've sort of been going down that path a few times over the last few months. But I'm a long way from it at the moment. But there are certain things that he's got to do this season that if he doesn't do them, I will be Mourinho out. But, I'm a long way from that. But a few hints, a few teasers. I think what he did with Fellaini was a joke. Really, personally for me, that was disgusting. I can't understand why he kept him. I think his obsession with people like Phil Jones and Ashley Young infuriate me. And there are opportunities this season to really do something special with Pereira, Fred, and maybe even Luke Shaw as well. And I'd like to see Martial involved. But the main thing is the style of football. I mean, I'm going to do a video tomorrow, the 5 things Jose Mourinho needs to do to win the title at United. And I'm almost laughing as I say that, because I think it will be a miracle. But he can do it. And the perfect time to do that video is now, whilst the positive is there. I mean, I nearly swore then. We lose to Brighton or we drop points against Brighton on Sunday, I do think that Jose's one bad result off a meltdown, because I don't think he's got much love in the bank because of what he's done last season. Luke Skywalker, Zidane has an aura around him. Players respect him. Look what he has won. I would like Zidane at United next season, but give Jose this season first. A very sensible comment. And also about Zidane, 3 times Champions League winner is just in a management point of view, that's absolutely amazing. But then look at Zidane as a footballer, one of the best players on the planet in the last 30 years. I mean, he's got both going on, hasn't he? So he would be a pull. He would be a pull at United. And I think, you know what? I don't like this video tonight because I want to be positive about Mourinho, but I decided to do it because I thought, you know what? We've had a tough week with all this Pogba Mourinho stuff and people taking a pop at the club, and we are. I agree with Jose. We are being treated like a team that was fighting relegation last season, not that finished above everybody else other than City. So tonight was sort of a kickback night to have a little bit of a hypothetical chat. But I know there's a lot of United fans who are thinking, yes, Jose this season, let's get through it, let's get top 4, then he can go and let's get Zidane in. But Allegri's going to leave Juventus at some point, and I think Zidane would quite fancy Juventus, and you know what? That's something to bear in mind, because you look at the Italian league and their transfer window is closed now, but what a transfer window it's been for them from the start, from June to the end. They've just done amazing things, and Serie A is on the way back. And imagine if Juventus were to win the Champions League and Allegri decided to move on because he's won everything. Maybe Zidane slips into that chair. But I just think the Manchester United job is the job, isn't it? It really is the job at the moment, and I would want that job. I would want that job. Pereira is key, says Priyan. Yes, those joining us a little bit late. He's been called up for the Brazil squad, which I think is absolutely fantastic. I don't mind if Fellaini scores the winner, Pankaj, against Brighton. He's part of the squad, isn't he? Darmian's still here. Amazing. You know what? If you'd said to me at the start of the summer that Fellaini and Darmian would be here at the start of the season, after I'd stopped crying, I would have said I don't believe you. I was categorically, I mean, it's a shame actually, we didn't do this, did we? My prediction at the start of the summer was that we would sign Milinkovic-Savic, Fred and Sandro, and I would have been happy with those three, and we would sell Darmian, Blind and Fellaini would leave. So only Blind left. We kept Darmian and Fellaini, and we only signed Fred. It's crap, isn't it? Absolute crap. I don't want to go back down that route, but you know, in a let's laugh at it point of view, what a joke. Yeah. So I realistically thought we would get Milinkovic-Savic, Sandro, and Fred, and Darmian, Blind, and Fellaini would go, and we got Fred and sold Blind. Didn't even get half. Well, bloody hell. Unbelievable, innit? Unbelievable. But we've got what we've got, and we go with what we've got. And if Fellaini scores a few important goals this season, great. And if Darmian can figure out how to defend, great. Because they are part of the squad. They are going to be used. And it's very important that United at least get top four this season. I don't want a season outside of top four. I'm hoping for more, though. Giggs as director of football, says Christian Carpenter. Well, I think Ryan Giggs would be a good choice as director of football because he's got a pedigree. He's got a pedigree of picking out players who've done very, very, very well. But, you know, Martial would be the number one. But I am sort of... I don't think, in my mind, I don't think that Ryan Giggs will come back to the club. I think Ryan Giggs loves Manchester United, but he's got the Wales job now, and Mourinho moved Giggs on, so I don't think that would happen. But then again, maybe Mourinho, as I said last night, whatever respect I have for Jose, and I do have a lot of respect for him and I want him to be our manager, I do think that as soon as we appoint a director of football, he will leave because he'll see it as undermining him. Do you watch the 3 o'clock games for United, says Ben Carpenter? I watch all United games, yeah. And SMS on the cheap to Milan, good job Woodward, says John Carlos. He hasn't gone to Milan, has he? Milinkovic-Savic. I thought he was saying at AC Milan. Sorry, Lazio. No, he stayed at Lazio. Yeah, the transfer window closed, so he stayed at Lazio. I know I'm going to get a lot of stick. Okay, so I'm going to read this now. Smelly Joe from Mexico. He says, I know I'm going to get a lot of stick for saying this, but Zidane is a bit overrated. Yes, he did a fantastic job winning 3 Champions Leagues in a row, but the way people hype him like he built the squad from scratch, well, 3 Champions Leagues in a row is pretty unprecedented. And you can say he's got Ronaldo, but Ronaldo was there for 4 years before that, wasn't he? So they didn't do it then. I think it is pretty good what he did. And the way he did it against 3 different teams as well, I think was very, very impressive. Zidane understands the language of attack, says Stern Cold. Papers are saying AC Milan on loan is possible, says Sander Floor. There you go. How do you watch the United games if they're not on TV, says Bell6891. Well, that's a good question. We need fast dribbles and committed players, says VMA1111. And I mean... Bring back David Moyes, says MK Rayner. And Zidane is overrated. A few people saying he's overrated. I repeated myself there. Imagine Giggs is director of football and Zidane as manager, says Checked Pool. You never know. And Woodward needs to stop messing United up, says Michael Jones. Well, a director of football would help with that, wouldn't they? Poch is overrated now, says Will. Rahut, I don't think it's too early to say. My player to watch this season is Andreas Pereira, funnily enough. Do you think United are more likely to appoint a director of football first, says Lachi Kennedy? No, I don't. And Vince Chapman says having one of the best footballers ever as manager can only be a good thing. I think it'd be a very good thing for Pogba. Although I've got my reservations about whether Paul Pogba will be here next season as well. Pochettino is everything right about what United needs, is true story. Bell says, avoid the IPTV HUD. What's that all about then? Loads of people go on about that, but you know, I haven't used it. I know a lot of people who use I know a lot of people in America who offer up their NBC pass just to log in and do it. I don't know how that works, whether it's legal or not. But there you go. Zidane is weak tactically. That's a great point. Ryan Genius says Ryan Sundata, and Zidane tactically better than Poch, but Poch is a better all-over manager and would suit us more. Right, I'm going to get off. Sam Allardyce, next manager, says Kirith. Please do drop a like on the video. If you haven't watched the Jose Mourinho press conference reaction, there's a lot of talk about this in the live comments tonight. Manchester United are playing at 4 o'clock on Sunday, not 3 o'clock on Saturday. I think a few people are getting confused. Would I rather Poch or Zidane, says Jack Turner. I could have ignored that, but I'll never ignore a difficult question for you. I would take Zidane because he's been a brilliant footballer and he's won things. Yeah. I'm not going to say anything more than that. Please do drop a like on the video. I am the top right hand corner. If you haven't watched the press conference reaction, really good video that was. I'm going to be on my channel, Goldbridge live stream, doing a FIFA Predicts Manchester United versus Brighton at 9:30 tonight, so in an hour's time. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel or watched my channel, get over and watch Mean Tweets. I think you'll like it. Even my wife came home and she doesn't watch my content and she went, that was really funny. I was like, well, you never laugh at my jokes. So there you go. Flex has messaged me. Loads of people have messaged me. All the mods. So it must be a good video. I never get messaged about any other videos. So the rest of them must be shit. But I've sworn on that United stand. I've gone into Goldbridge live stream mode. Apologies. Anyway, I'll see you all tomorrow. Got a really good video tomorrow. 5 ways that Jose Mourinho can win the Premier League. And I want your input on it as well. And Sunday game time. Lovely stuff. Speak to you all soon. I might see you on Goldbridge live stream in an hour.